Jakarta, Java, Eclipse, Oracle, Java Mail, Jakarta Mail. Confusing? Yes. Impossible to understand? No. Today I'll tell you how Java Mail became Jakarta Mail, share devs' recommendations, and show you how to migrate from one to the other. Hello and welcome to Mailtrap videos, where we explore the world of emails. Java was developed by James Gosling in the early 90s and was owned by Sun Microsystems. However, Sun had financial problems during the 2000s, so it was bought out by Oracle in 2010. Oracle made this move to improve their hardware, and they didn't really care about Java. Java is not even featured on Oracle's website, as opposed to its cloud systems, database, and AI. So Oracle didn't really do much to develop Java, and the community started to blame them openly. To address the concerns, Oracle decided to open source Java and moved the whole development to the Eclipse Foundation in 2017. However, Oracle decided to keep the Java and Javax trademarks, so Eclipse had to rename Java Enterprise Edition Jakarta Enterprise Edition in 2018. That's where all the confusion began. Suddenly, developers had two programming languages that were essentially the same, but the names were different. For example, Jakarta Enterprise Edition 8 was still using Javax packages, while the 9th edition had completely migrated to Jakarta. The same was the case with Jakarta Mail. Luckily, in the newer versions of Jakarta, you can use both dependencies at the same time. Let's see how. I prepared a simple Java project and added two dependencies to the build.gradle file. The first one is the old Java Mail client, still referring to Sun. The second one is Angus, the implementation of Jakarta Mail specification. Since I added old and new dependencies, my project will use both to send an email. In the main class, I've prepared a few examples. I've specified the classes directly, so that we're sure they are coming from the Javax package. Then I created a session and the message, defined the content type header, and set the recipients, the subject line, and the body content. I also added the send method that will send an email, and wrapped the script in a try-catch to catch the exceptions. Inside the session, I used the authenticator, which will authenticate using the username and password. The last section contains the SMTP configuration, in this case for Gmail SMTP. Alright, it's time to see if the script sends an email. To learn more about emails in Java, quickly hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We have multiple tutorials on sending, validating, and testing emails in Java, so don't miss them out. Back to our project. Let's compile the script to check if there are any errors. No errors appeared, which means Java Mail and Jakarta Mail could be compiled in a single project. Now, the real question is, can you send an email when you have two clients in one project? Let's run the script and test that. Once again, there are no errors, and the email arrived in my inbox.
I win! I win! I win!
But what happens if I try to send an email from Jakarta Mail? Let's change the send Javax mail function to send Jakarta Mail and run the script. It failed. The issue is caused by the SDK itself. The database name isn't unique, and both Java Mail and Jakarta Mail use the same database. They write in the same file, and whichever writes first wins.
Dude, I was here first.
So if we go back to our build Gradle file and make Jakarta Mail dependency first instead of Java Mail, the script should run successfully. Yes, as you can see, there are no errors anymore. While this approach works, it's far from ideal. If something goes wrong, there won't be an easy fix. Mailtrap devs and the Java community recommend migrating to Jakarta Mail fully as soon as possible. Most of the applications and libraries have already been migrated, because Java Mail is quite old and no longer maintained. Plus, the migration is pretty straightforward. Here's what you need to do. As Java Mail migration to Jakarta Mail was mostly about renaming, all you need to do to migrate your code to Jakarta Mail is to update your imports. One of the easier ways to do this is to use the find and replace function. Go to Edit, Find, and Replace. In the first field, type import Javax, as we want to migrate the imports only. In the second field, type import Jakarta and click Replace All. Then compile the code and you'll be good to go. The second way is to press the Alt button 2 times and move the arrow down. This will extend your cursor to several lines, and the changes you make on one line will be reflected on the others. So just delete Javax and type Jakarta instead. All done. You now know all the tea about Java Mail and Jakarta Mail. But how do you build an email sending script in Java? How do you send emails via RESTful API? Watch our dedicated tutorial to find out. See you there.